Hello, everybody. This is Marc Cervantes, and this week's Cerv's Legal Morsel of the Day. Today, I have Joe Campagna, and he is a past client along with his wife, Jen. We closed on some of his properties last year, and it was interesting because not only did we sell a property, but we also purchased a property. Hi, Joe. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you, sir.
Fantastic. Thanks for joining us. So, you were a city dweller for a while, so you were in Logan Square.
Yeah.
But you decided to make the move out to the burbs. Isn't that correct?
Yeah. We came up to an interesting life choice where my mom had gotten sick and passed away, and we had the opportunity to buy the house I grew up in. And, when she was in the process of, going through care and all that, Jen and I had kind of talked, and we were, do we move to the burbs and become the people that move to the burbs from the city? Like, do we become uncool? Do I need to now buy Crocs and cargo shorts to be that dad? I yet don't have any golf shirts that end midriff, thankfully, because I buy new clothes. But are we going to become those people? And if we did, my mom's house that I grew up in was 100 years old. So for me, it was, if we do that, we're tearing it down. I'm not living in the house I grew up in, but we'll live at the place I grew up in. And you guys were a huge help with that. And closing our city house, which was a unique sell since we did it in record time, with an all-cash deal, which, as you know, is not
Let's
normal.
talk about your Logan Square property. Leaving the city, one of the main concerns is restaurants, and you're in that kind of sphere and other things that you have in the city with your two girls. So what do you miss about Logan Square and living in the city?
So there's the two things you mentioned. There's the obvious one is there are no good restaurants in the burbs. And being a guy who's been in the restaurant industry, I've planted that flag for better part of a decade. You can, it's like you want to go to Wrigley Field and eat at, a major league place, which is typically a lot of the places in the city, or do you want to go, enjoy a minor league game? It's the same, but it's not as good, right? They're not, and I will die on that hill all day. So the hard part for me has been, there are absolutely no good delivery Asian food restaurants. My wife played a game for a while of, the pad thai we would get. What color is it going to be? It was pink. It was yellow. It was kind of a caramely brown like it should be. It was white. Like, it would arrive, and I'm like, I don't know how you're going to eat that. And she's like, I'm probably not going to eat it. So that's been the struggle for restaurants. And, we get out to the city often. Our kids, our young girls love to get to a restaurant as well. But I do crave wonderful Asian. And when you're in the city, it's, do I want sushi? Do I want Chinese? Do I want Thai? There's the variety here that doesn't exist. The other part of it is, which, is kind of funny, like, everybody thinks the city's this big, scary place. In our neighborhood, we were friendly with all the neighbors and knew them. And in the city, or in the burbs, when we moved, we lived in a rental for a little bit. Like, nobody was friendly. And it was just hilarious to be like, how is this? This is the complete opposite. And, growing up in the home I grew up in, you'd think that all my neighbors would welcome me back with open arms. And most of them did, except the neighbors that had to live right next to me. And they're just horrible through the whole process. But, I still don't really talk to them now, other than being cordial and saying hi. But people are just less friendly. And it's like, how is that possible? The one nice other benefit to the suburbs, especially where we are in Park Ridge, is we're really close to the airport. So when my wife travels and we lived in the city, she would get home and it's like, I'm home. And I'm like, great, I'll see you whenever. And it could be 30 minutes. It could be an hour and 15. Whereas now you literally land and go, I'm home. And it's like, all right, let's get in the car. We're going to drive and get mom. And by the time that somebody gets from the airplane, unless they don't get a gate, to the curb, it's almost instantaneous. So it's a 10-minute ride home and consistent. Then, who knows how long it's going to take on a Friday.
So since you grew up in Park Ridge and you're back in Park Ridge, so what, other than more space, what are the things do you like about Park Ridge? So if anybody who was considering making the move to that area, because even though Park Ridge is a suburb, it's not that far from the city.
Right. So I think that's part of it. It's, you're not in a far western burb. You're not in a far northern burb. I would say typical travel time is anywhere to the city could be 20 minutes, depending on when you go, even when there was traffic, to maybe 45. So the proximity is good, and you still are not that far away. The schools are great. So that was a big driving factor. If we stay in the city with two young kids, and we have to teach them educate privately, what's that cost going to be on top of living and top of college? And are they going to get into the same school? So that takes that off the board completely. The schools are good. We definitely have more space. My wife works from home. My office was out here, so my commute is much easier. So that's kind of nice. When you don't have that commute or it's shorter, you realize how much more time there is to not rush in the morning, as well as when you get home at night, you're not getting home and immediately doing dinner. You can kind of ease into it a little bit and not feel like family time is rushed or condensed because it's not taken up by time in the car.
Sure. So you did what's called a 203K loan, which is a construction loan, basically acquisition and construction. Can you tell us a little bit about that experience? Because if people want to buy rehabs or they want to buy like tear downs, what things, after you've done through the process, what things did you learn about that process?
So it was interesting. When we did it, I thought, we would buy the house and then we would do something else to build the house. And it's actually all in one. So, to give a round number, if you're buying something and it's $1 million and you're putting down 20, or wait, was it 20% of the house or it's 20% of the loan or something. And it's different, but it's all in one. And the nice thing is once you start the loan, it's not like a traditional mortgage where you start off and you've got all of this money owed. You technically owe nothing until they start to build and do the draws. So, it's kind of weird at first. You're like, oh, I don't really have to pay anything. This is fantastic. And as, things start to come due and the builder puts in their draws and all of this, then you start to pay the mortgage up. So in the beginning, it's great. At the end, you're like, we got to refinance this as quick as possible because all of a sudden my loan is $800,000 or $900,000 on whatever. And we got to just mortgage it back down. So it was good. It was an educational experience in that way where it actually makes it much easier because you're not doing multiple things, but you just have to be cognizant that when this starts to get done and the builder is going to turn this over to you, it could traditionally convert into a normal mortgage. We actually refinanced and added money to it so we could drive that mortgage payment down. So, it's understanding that a little bit and being prepared to, as quickly as possible, turn that around so that you're not getting hit with one massive payment that is just kind of burning money that you don't need to do.
Sure. So, and one of the advantages of the 203K loan is you got to build the house that you wanted versus somebody else's house. That correct?
Right. So we obviously knew the space, and we had worked with the builder and the architects and said, this is the home we want, and went through it. So we went through the whole process of a rebuild from ground up. We tore down everything and scraped the earth. There's no remnant left. Being the house 100 years old, there was plaster and lathe and cloth wire. So knowing that if we would have tried to open it up, it would have just caused massive issues. And with the foundation and rain and potential for flood, I'd rather just deal with new. So yeah, we were able to do everything. And when you think about building a house, everybody gets excited, like, oh, I saw it on TV and all this, but then you have to realize that you focus on every detail, like the door casing, the door size, the door frame size, the handles on everything in your house. So you have all of these different elements and details that you concern yourself with that you wouldn't normally maybe think about because some of that's already done. Hey.
Absolutely. So let me ask you this. What was the first piece of new furniture you bought for the new house once it was all done?
So we got a new master bed, right? So in the city house we had, I think our bedroom was similar size. And, in the new bedroom, we didn't have, my goal, the thing I love about master bedrooms is I don't want a dresser. And when we built the house, we added a rather stupidly large closet that a lot of people walk in and just hate us for, but we were able to do that. So we have this, what would be a fourth bedroom, which is a closet. So everything is in there, and eventually we'll get probably some sort of seating. So we got a new bed, and it's a modern 4-poster from Restoration, and it just fit better than our old one that we had. And, when you have a home that, you're going to be in forever, my view has always been do it once, do it right, don't have to do it again. And it's a bed that I think will be timeless in design, that we won't really need to do anything for another 10 or 15 years. It's also a little bit lower. Our old bed was high. And with our young little girls that you saw, them getting into bed, they're like, I'm going to get a hernia. And being older, it's nicer to kind of roll out of bed than have to leap in or out. But we bought a new bed. It was kind of nice.
Fantastic. So, we helped you guys with the sale process and the purchase process. What would you be able to tell the audience how we were able to help you navigate the transaction for you guys?
So you guys were great. Like for me, it was interesting because I sold the property as the executor to myself, and my sister and I kind of split the proceeds. So you and the team were great in explaining how that worked, and also selling our old place at almost the same time. So we were able to really seamlessly schedule and do everything. I got really tired signing a lot of documents at one time, but it was nice to not have to worry. And for me, it's kind of like I said, when I buy furniture or get something, I want to do it once. And with you guys, I explained kind of what we've just all talked about, what we wanted to do. And you're like, all right, awesome. I'll let you know if I have any questions, and, we'll get it done. So when we got there, it was, this is what we're doing. At the same time, if I did have a stupid question, you were very good at not making me feel stupid. But no, you
for fantasy football.
Except for fantasy football, which we've been in a league in forever, and you always try to get me to make a stupid trade, which I've yet to do. So, but it was good. I mean, it was nice that, I could have someone I trusted and really just be able to just say, this is what I want to do. And you guys took care of everything. And literally all I had to do was sign, give a check, show up. Like I didn't have to worry or do extra work. Whereas with some people, you kind of have to, lead them with a dog leash along the way to be like, what do we got to do next? I didn't have that worry.
Well, fantastic. Well, Joe, thank you so much. I'm glad that you're enjoying your shelter in place with all your daughter's artwork back there. We appreciate your time. And once again, congratulations on the new house. And we really appreciate you joining the audience.
Thank you, Mark. Thanks, everybody. Use Mark. He's the best.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody.